Myself, Dr. R. Sreebha, Assistant Professor of Botany, V.V. Vanyaperumal College for Women, Virudhunagar. Today my topic is General Characters of Bryophytes, which comes under the Allied Botany and Plant Diversity and Cell Biology subject. And the first one is Introduction. General Characters of Bryophytes. The term Bryophytes originate from the word bryon, meaning mosses, and phyton, meaning the plants. Bryophyta includes mosses, liverworts, and hornworts. These are small plants that grow in shady and damp areas. They lack vascular tissues like xylem and phloem. They don't produce flowers and seed, instead produce the spores. The study of bryophyte is called bryology. Dr. Shivaram Kashyap, who is called the father of Indian bryology, and he studied his findings about Himalayan liverworts. Bryophytes were the pioneers to colonize terrestrial habitats from an aquatic environment, hence they are regarded as the most primitive of land plants. They form the second largest group of terrestrial plants, next to phanerogams. Their adaptation to a terrestrial mode of life is partial, as water is needed for the completion of its life cycle. Hence, they are also known as amphibians of plant kingdom. Their remarkable capacity to absorb water and turn fresh in a very short time. So, the plant is called resurrection plants. Most ancient land plants probably evolved 400 million years ago. Bryophytes species shows monoecious gametophytes and are bisexual, and they are able to produce both archegonia and antheridia in the same plant. Some plants are dioecious. Gametophyte of dioecious bryophytes are unisexual, that is producing a single plant produce archegonia and another plant produce the antheridium. And also this occurs in shady areas. The plant body is prostrate or erect. They show autotrophic mode of nutrition. It consists of about 2,000, more than 20,000 plant species. It's broadly categorized into liverworts, mosses, and hornworts. The first picture shows the mosses, hornworts, and the liverworts. Now, the examples of bryophytes. Liverworts, example Markantia, Rexia, Pellia, Porella, Calobria. Mosses, Finaria, Polytrichum, Sphagnum. Hornworts, Anthoceras, Notothylus, Megaceras. Next is the habitat of bryophytes, where it lives. Bryophyte is a wide variety of, shows a wide variety of habitats. Range of elevations, temperature based on moisture condition, it varies. They can be seen growing in shady and damp environments, extreme and diverse habitats such as Arctic and desert, even though desert regions can be seen. Some of the bryophytes remarkably tolerate lengthy periods of freezing and dry conditions. And when moisture returns, the process of photosynthetic resumes. So, the plant is called resurrection plants. A few grow on bare surface of rocks and some are aquatic in nature. In some bryophytes seen in the soil or mud, such plant is called terricolous. And some bryophytes which is seen in and mostly grown in the leaf surface. So, such plants is called folicolous form. Next one is the rupicolous. It's seen on the rock surface. The corticolous form, it shows the bark of the trees. So, it is called corticolous. And some bryophytes which grows on the logs, that is decayed plants. So, it is called lignicolous. And some bryophytes which is seen on the stones and pebbles, such plants are called saxicolous form. Now, the bryophyte attached to the substratum by means of rhizoids, which are unicellular or multicellular. They lack true vegetative structure and have a root-like, stem-like, leaf-like structure. Plants lack the vascular system like xylem and phloem. The picture shows the vascular bundle which is lack of xylem and phloem. Now, the Bryophyte shows alternation of generation between independent gametophyte with the sex organs which produce sperms and egg, and dependent sporophyte which contains the spores. The picture shows the gametophyte bearing the sporophyte. Below the gametophytic plant in which the sporophyte grows, which is dependent. The juvenile gametophyte is known as Protonyma. The dominant part of the plant body is gametophyte, which is always haploid. The gametophyte bears unicellular, multicellular sex organs and is photosynthetic. Now, the asexual reproduction. It takes place by fragmentation, buds, adventitious branches, or by the formation of the gemma. Gemma are produced inside the gemma cups. The picture, the plant showing the upper surface with the gemma cup. Inside the gemma cup bears the gemma. Gemma are asexual buds which are green and multicellular. The gemma cup develops into new plant after detaching from the parent plant. Now, is the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is oogamous type. Male reproductive organ is called antheridium. It is club-shaped structure bearing by narrow stalk. It produces biflagellate and motile male gametes or antherozoids. And the female sex organ is known as archegonium. It is a flask-shaped structure having a swollen venter and the narrow neck. The narrow neck contains the 5 to 6 cells. At the time of maturation, it disintegrates and forms a mucilaginous substance. Next is the fertilization. The antherozoids fuse with the egg to form a zygote. The zygote develops into a multicellular sporophyte which is dependent and which develops from the gametophyte. Fertilization produces an embryo inside the archegonium. The embryo grows into a sporophyte. Sporophyte is parasite on gametophyte. Now, the sporophyte. The sporophyte is semi-parasitic and dependent on the gametophyte for its nutrition. Cells of sporophyte undergoes meiosis to form haploid spores which form a gametophyte. The spores which is detached from the sporophyte and fall on the soil and it germinated into independent gametophyte. The sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta and capsule. The structure of sporophyte which shows the foot, seta and capsule, and this picture of the spores. The sporophyte in Bryophytes is also called sporangium as it attached and dependent on the gametophyte. The sporophyte is the diploid generation of the plant that produces haploid spores, that is by means of meiotic division. That is the spore mother cell undergo meiotic division and form 4 haploid spores inside the capsule of the sporophyte. In Bryophyte, the sporophyte are always unbranched and produce a single sporangium. But each gametophyte can give rise into several sporophyte at once. It is made up of a foot, seta and the capsule. On germination, each spore produces a gametophyte either directly or through a juvenile filamentous stage called protonyma. Now, the life cycle of Bryophytes. The life cycle of Bryophyte consists of alternation of 2 stages or generation called the sporophyte and the independent gametophyte, that is the half of its life cycle, and the gametophytic cycle, gametophytic generation, and it is always haploid and it shows the gametes from starting from the protonyma. From the protonyma it germinates into gametophyte and the gametophyte bears the archegonium and the antheridium and it produces haploid gametes and the gametes fuse together to form the zygote. From the zygote it develops into the dependent sporophyte. The sporophytic generation is very short period and the gametophytic generation is a long period. Now, it has more economic importance also. That is, it protects from soil erosion, prevents soil erosion. They usually grow densely and hensely act as soil binders and is forming matter, carpet, and thus preventing the soil erosion. It also acts as a packing material. That is, dried peat, the mosses like sphagnum species, is used to pack bulbs, cuttings, and seedlings for shipments. Used in seed beds, are widely used in seed beds and greenhouses to root cutting because of their remarkable ability to absorb and hold water like a sponge. Peat mosses are also used to keep soil acidity high, which certain plants require. As a source of fuel, peat also has the potential to be a source of coal. Dried peat can be used as a fuel source. It's also used as absorbent. Bandages, sphagnum plants are slightly antiseptic and a high absorption capacity. Because of these properties, they can be used in hospitals to fill absorbent bandages instead of cotton. Now, the sporophyte of the bryophyte is, the most plant is completely dependent upon the gametophyte for its nutrition. Most sporophyte is differentiated into sporophyte is differentiated into food, seta, and capsule. Food serves to get nutrition for developing sporophyte. Seta is the stalk of the capsule, and capsule bears spores within the capsule wall. The largest bryophyte is, the tallest and largest known moss in the world is Dawsonia superba species. Its stem may reach up to 19.75 inches tall. If the chromosome number in leaf of bryophyte plant is 20, what will be the chromosome number in spore? A20, B40, C10, D5. Yes, the answer is A20. That is, the gametophyte bears the haploid condition. And from the haploid gametophyte, the gametes fuse to form a zygote, and from the zygote, the sporophyte grows, and from the sporophyte, the spore mother cell undergo meiotic division to form again the haploid spores. The chromosome number of the gametophyte and the spore will be the same. Thank you.